down. You go from Ukraine.
And we are live. That's cool. We are live, Mr. James Ali Bashir. Boy, hey, listen, Mr. Bashir, it's good to have you over. We've got a lot to talk about. How you first and foremost? How you feeling? How you been?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah, you look good. You look good, man. You got a nice smile on your face.
I feel good.
Yeah, that's
good. Black Serenko is boxing Sunday. We got a weigh-in tomorrow here in Ukraine.
Yeah.
He's the main event on Sunday afternoon here in Ukraine. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful to hear. So, man, listen, and you know you love talking that boxing. So now we're gonna get into it. Now, there was a big domestic fight on the weekend. My man Anthony Yarde was challenging against Linda Arthur for the Commonwealth belt at light heavyweight. You saw the fight. Give us your take on the fight, and what do you think went wrong with Anthony Yarde, who was supposed to be the next coming in the light heavyweight division? Go ahead.
Well, if he's the next coming, then he's gone. You know, I think that he did a poor job in that fight. You know, I think that he let the opportunity pass him by. Not saying that the opportunity in front of him was an easy opportunity, but I do think he let the opportunity that he had. I think he let it pass. I heard rumors that he felt that he got robbed. I had the fight 115, 113, and possibly, and I could understand if somebody had it 116, 112.
Yeah,
I don't think he did a good job.
Yeah, so I had it wide as well. I had it for Lyndon Arthur scored the fight. What went wrong tactically for Anthony Yarde?
Well, you know, in my opinion, his corner did a lot of cheerleading and not enough advice given. You know, they kept saying lines in the camp and things of that nature, but I don't think that they did enough quality instructions in that corner. I think that they missed some opportunities. For instance, I never heard anybody in the corner, not one time did I hear anybody in the corner say, cut the ring off. Not once. I saw Anthony Yarde did a lot of posing and, you know, up and down and, you know, just different antics he was doing physically, but he wasn't punching off those moves, all those step here, step there, you know, bending and bobbing, but I didn't see him punching off it. Now, I felt that he fell behind in the fight early. I felt that he was behind the fight. I mean, going into the 7th round, I had him down 6 rounds. And possibly I may have given him 1 round in the first 6 rounds. Possibly.
Yeah. It was that far. Go ahead.
And it was the round that I gave him was a close round. I could see the judges going the other way for Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah. Because one of the judges did go. One of the judges was very wide, and people were very critical. But you could see that way, right? You saw it like that.
I'm telling you, I could see it going 116, 112. I could see that because Anthony Yarde just didn't do enough in those first 6 rounds. He didn't do nothing. I didn't see Anthony Yarde actually turn it up until the 10th round, 11th round, and the 12th round. And that was minimal.
100%. I mean, what do you think of his trainer, Mr. Tunde Ajayo?
Like I said, he missed a lot of opportunities. He never instructed Anthony Yarde to cut the ring off. Cut the ring off. That's the first thing. All night long, Anthony Yarde followed Arthur around the ring. The entire round, 12 rounds, he followed him around the ring. Not one time did he attempt to cut the ring off. You know, he didn't do no body punching. He didn't do anything. You know, I mean, the trainer never told him to listen. You know, after the 3rd round, you know, the trainer should have instructed him to ask him, do you want this fight? if you want it, then you have to go out there and take it. He's not going to give it to you. I thought that Anthony Yarde had the power. I thought he had the strength to overtake Arthur. It seemed like that. It seemed like Arthur didn't want anything to do with Anthony Yarde being close to him. I thought that if Anthony Yarde just said, you know what, I'm going to roll the dice and I'm going to go get this guy. And I thought that he could have did good if he had forced the fight to the inside. But at a certain time in a fight, you know, a trainer has to confront reality and tell the fighter, you know, that you're losing the fight. So what are you doing? After the third, fourth round, you got to say, listen, you're down 4 rounds. You need to step up to this guy. So roll the dice. You got to roll the dice. You got to go in there and make a fight of this. But all night long, Anthony Yarde was following him around, and Arthur was just sticking the jab in his face, just sticking the jab, constantly sticking the jab in the face.
Yeah. You can appreciate that because you've been around Vladimir, who used to do that to a lot of opponents. He used to call him pizza face.
Hey, if you can win the fight using just a jab, why do something else? If I can win the fight, if I can comfortably win the fight and outpoint him with a jab, why should I get in a fight? Why should I risk getting injured or hurt? You know, and I can just use the jab, and that's what was going on.
There was a question in the fight, right? And in one of the rounds where where Tunde Ajayo said to him, I think the hand, he might have a breaking hand. And Yarde took that on board, and he slipped past the jab, and then Arthur threw a great right hand, and it was like, woo! And he goes, like, the right hand was still working. I think he injured the hand, but he could still throw it. Like, what was your take on that whole scenario? I don't know if you picked that bit up.
I heard something, but with the accent, it was throwing me off because they was talking so fast in the corner. You know, I'm not used to the accent. So, yeah, he might have said something about an injury. But I would have told him to capitalize every round. I would have told him, listen, step up. Something's wrong with him. We don't know what's wrong with him, but something is wrong with him because he's not throwing any right hands. He's not throwing them. So I would have assumed because he wasn't using the right hand that something was wrong. So I would have just told him, go on the attack. You know, go on the attack, put a lot of pressure on him, a lot of foot pressure, and then cut the ring off while you putting the foot pressure. But he wasn't cutting the ring off.
Yeah, he wasn't doing enough. He seemed to me, and he thought he won the fight. There was enough.
He thought he won the fight.
Yeah, like he thought he won the fight.
He wasn't the champion.
I know, but that's the way he fought. He fought him and his trainer. They thought they won the fight. They thought they done enough body punching. I was confused as well. I was like, yo, man. He's like, he actually thought he won the fight. I was like, yo, I don't know, because the trainer, because they seem too comfortable. They actually thought they can just turn up and just do the least and win the fight and just, you know what I'm saying? Like they actually thought they won the fight.
No, well, I've been watching fights close to 50 years. You know, close to 50 years I've been watching fights.
Yeah.
And no, I could tell you, no, that it wasn't even close. I didn't have the close. I mean, for them to announce for Anthony Yarde that it was a split decision, that was a blessing for him to be announced as a split decision. Because I had it, like I said, 115, 113. Arguably, it could have been 116, 112. But certainly not a split decision. So that was a blessing for him to get a split decision, to be announced as a split decision.
Yeah. I mean, so what does Yarde have to do on the comeback now? Like how he come back?
When Yarde got on the inside, he was passive.
He was
passive. He was like, when he got inside, he didn't make any attempts to get violent. He didn't get on the inside and work the way Joe Frazier would work, you know? Yarde was just too laid back, you know, too passive. And as a result, I had him losing that fight. The fight wasn't a split decision to me. And in fact, when they announced a split decision, I was like, whoa. You know, I was like sitting like, whoa, a split decision. it was a shock to me when they said split decision. But I guess different judges look for different things. I just watched the guy use a jab effectively and keep Yard at bay with a jab.
Yep.
And I couldn't understand for the world why they didn't tell Anthony Yard said, "Look, man, hey, man, you gotta fight this man. You gotta step up, cut this ring down, and fight the man." Mm-hmm. But he was just too passive, too laid back.
100%. He was too comfortable, man. So where does he go from now? What does y'all do to rebuild? Tunde, and listen to this, right? The trainer Tunde Jao say he ain't changing nothing. We won the fight, so you know, on that mindset, what do you think going forward?
They can say what they want to say. It's not always what the trainer and the boxer thinks. You got to look at what the fans are thinking and what the boxing pundits are saying. And the boxing pundits are saying that you guys lost the fight. All of the pundits are saying you lost the fight. And most of them didn't have a split decision. Most of the pundits that was watching the fight scored the fight 115-113. You know? So it doesn't matter. You're not changing that. Or just that we won the fight. You can't go out there by the skin of your chin. The author was the champion. Arthur was the champion. So how do you figure that you're going to come in there on a split decision and take the title? Come on, man. Come on. Be realistic. That's not realistic.
That's what they fought. That's what they fought. That's what they rolling with. That's exactly how they fought coming into that joint. You know what I mean?
I think that Anthony Yard and his trainer, they need to sit down and have a real serious powwow. Because like I said, I never heard them say in the corner, listen, you need to cut the ring off and attack the body. You're trying to jab with them upstairs, and the jabbing thing is not working for you. So what you need to do is step on the gas, cut the ring off, and attack the body. Try to take some of the wind out of the sails, stop him from moving around the ring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You definitely have the power. You definitely have the power. Go ahead.
You can't just pat your box on the back and say, "Hey, you did a good job." No, you gotta confront him and say, "Hey, man, you didn't do a good job." Mm-hmm. Or perhaps neither one of us did a good job. Let's give each other another chance, and let's go back to the gym with a renewed attitude, renewed effort to get this thing right. Because I think there was a failing on Yard's behalf, because by now he should have been fighting the remote. You know, if things ain't going right, then there's something remote in a good fighter that's got to click in him and say, you know, I gotta step up, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Instinctively, you know, he should have made some allotment to do better in the fight. Yeah. And the fact, did you hear anybody in that corner? Did you hear one person in the corner say, you have to cut the ring off?
No.
And as a result, Yard followed the man around the ring the entire night. I didn't see him make a serious effort to cut the ring off. I didn't see him make a serious effort to attack the body. You know, and when he threw a successful right hand, he threw one of them. He didn't put a left hook right hand behind the right hand. Yeah. He threw one. I didn't see him put any supreme effort like, I've got to win this fight. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what most of the pundits are pointing out. You know, most of the pundits had viewed the fight. Most of the pundits had the fight 115, 113. A few of them had to fight 116, 112.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, less than that there. I think it was in the 80s. But you get the point what I'm saying. The fight was like this 80 this, 80 that, whatever it was. But I'm just saying 116, 112, or 115 was. I was just an example of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, but it was. I didn't have a split decision. No.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Bashir, Yard, they ain't changing nothing. They're not improving. They thought they won the fight. So, if that's the way they feel,
Well, you know what? If they keep going like that, now he got 2 losses. He got 2 losses, and in my opinion, he didn't have to have that 2 losses. He didn't have to have that 2 losses. He didn't have to have it. You can't be arrogant. You can't be stubborn. You can't be bullheaded. You're going around saying that you won the fight, you got robbed. And the promoter is Frank Warren, right?
yeah.
Did Frank Warren have both those fighters?
You know what? I ain't even heard from him. I didn't listen to him. I was just stunned about the corner. I was stunned that they thought they won the fight so much so on that. And the corner, I think people were talking about that. Go on.
He definitely has a contract with Anthony Yard, but does he have a contract with all?
Yeah, he does. He has both of them for his promotional thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but why would Frank Warren cheat Anthony Yard?
Yeah,
why would he do that?
Nah, he wouldn't do that.
He said he got robbed, but why would he do that?
Yeah,
it doesn't add up. It doesn't have. It said that he got robbed. I think that Anthony Yard and the trainer, I think they're doing each other a great injustice. Instead of saying, you know what, it could have been that we lost this fight. We got to reassess it, sit down, watch it, see where we went wrong, and try to correct it. Instead of going around saying that we won the fight and nothing's going to change, and that's nonsense, man. That's immaturity and nonsense to me.
100%. Well, listen to this, right? So we're gonna move on because I know we was gonna go into the Klitschko one, but Abe, shout out to everyone in the chat. Lossie, shout out to Ironclad 26. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna go back a week. We're gonna go into Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce, because I didn't get your take on that, and then we're gonna move on to AJ and Pulev. What's your take on the coaching corner in young Daniel Dubois? I don't know if you met him a couple of times. I think you may have. And Joe Joyce. Yeah, and Joe Joyce. What's your take on the coaching? What's your take on the fight? Let's give us your overall reaction.
I picked Daniel Dubois to best Joe Joyce in that fight because Joe Joyce is slow and he's predictable. He's a slow guy and he's a predictable guy. He's strong and he's powerful, but he's slow and he's predictable. So I picked Daniel Dubois to best him in that fight. I thought that Daniel Dubois could stop Joe Joyce late in the fight, or he could out-hustle him to take a win decision. But after the eye swelled up, it looked like they were throwing out the lifeboats, in the corner early. I mean, as early as the 5th or 6th round, it looked like they were throwing out the lifeboats. Saying you got to go out and do this, you got to do this, you got this. But when you have an injury like that, my opinion is sometimes it's best to stop the fight and save the fighter for another time. Don't let the guy get ruined in one fight trying to win the fight. That eye was bad, all right? And in my opinion, I don't think that the fighter should have been the one to take the knee. I think that the corner should have stopped that fight because the eye was bruised badly. And he was risking getting seriously injured. So when he took the knee, I was praying that he would stay down, and he did. And I said, thank God he stayed down. He'll get out the fight now. But as people were saying that he quit, and this and that, they shouldn't say that there because fighters going in the ring, they got enough heart to go in the ring. And he went there. What round did the fight get stopped in?
I think it was like 8th. Was it 8th or 9th? That they was getting their ass whooping. I can't remember, but it was bad. 8th, 9th. It was late though. It was getting late though.
You don't go that many rounds and then say you quit. I
think it was 10th round. 10th round. Go ahead.
The man went in there 10 rounds. The man took a knee wisely. It was a wise thing to do to take his knee because he could have had permanent damage. Nobody in that corner was an ophthalmologist. No doctors was in that corner. So why would the corner keep sending the guy out? This guy, Joe Joyce, got one of those ramrod, one of those red oak tree jabs, and he's jabbing Dubois in the cranium, ripping to the eye, and the corner is sending him back and forth out because now the wind has taken place. The wind has taken precedence over the man's life, as opposed to it being the other way around. The life of the boxer should take place over the precedence of winning, and those guys didn't do it, so they missed their calling. They missed their calling, I did that one time. I had Monkey Barrett boxing Nikolai Valuev, and I to this day, I just keep being angry with myself because I should have stopped the Valuev fight earlier, 2 rounds. Yeah. 2 rounds before I did. I felt that when looking back on the fight now, I said, damn, I missed my opportunity. I should have stopped it then. But I was listening to some fucking clowns in the corner pulling my pants leg and no, let him go another round. He gonna be all right. Let him go. And I let them influence my better judgment. And I was the chief trainer, but in the excitement, everybody said, no, let him go another round. He gonna pull it out. He gonna pull it out. He gonna pull it out. And for some reason, I said, okay, we'll go another round. We go another round, But it was against my better judgment. And the more I look back at that fight now, and I look back all the time to remind myself about my responsibilities as a chief trainer. I always look back at that fight to remind myself about the responsibilities of a chief trainer, to make the decisions that nobody wants to make, to make the decisions that are not comfortable, to make the decisions regardless of what anybody else thinks. I should have stopped the fight earlier, and Dubois' corner should have stopped that fight 2, maybe 3 rounds before Dubois took the knee. Because nobody was an ophthalmologist. Nobody knows the extent of the damage that had been done to that eye. And then you got a guy that can't see on that left side. With a hard puncher guy like Joe Joyce, he could have really, really did some damage. So when Dubois took the knee, I said, yes, stay down. And when he stayed down, I applauded that. That was smart. Because the corner wasn't going to do it.
No, they wasn't.
Because they wanted to win. That win was more important than Dubois' life.
Well, he was up on the scorecards, and if he went the distance, right, he would have won the fight. Do you know that? Do you actually know that he would have won the fight?
Yeah, he was up on the scorecard because he was boxing.
No, not Joe Joyce. Daniel Dubois. If he went the distance, he would have won the scorecards.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I said that I know that's why they were trying to push him to go to the distance.
Yeah, they're trying to.
But at the risk of the injury to the eye, they was risking that eye. And that's what I'm telling you. You can't let that cloud your judgment. The possibility of winning or losing or whatever. That's got to take second place. The first thing that they got to be involved with is saving the guy's life. You know what I'm saying? To save his life, to make sure that he has 2 eyes. When his career is over, when that fight's over, to make sure he has 2 eyes. His eye was very, very, very badly damaged. Yeah. All right. So
yeah, it's a shame. So, but he says some. What's up, Lady Sham? What's up, Lossie? What's up, Michael Thompson? And the rest of the guys in the chat, man. So listen to this, right, Mr. Bashir. He says some really disrespectful stuff to Joe Joyce's mom leading the build up. He said that she's partially blind. In fact, she's blind in her eyes, and she was at the press conference and she had a question at the press conference to Daniel Dubois. The press conference, she said to him, I can't remember what the question is, but Daniel Dubois' response to her was, well, listen, after I knock out your son, you won't be able to see him no more, so it won't matter. And, that was a really disrespectful thing to say, because as she's blind, and now he's obviously seemed like he's blind in one eye. I know I'm not trying to say about karma, but, it looks like the way it's looking, his career might be ended. I think he's got serious nerve damage in there, and, the broken orbital bone. It looks very serious, man.
You see? And now look, you see what I was just alluding to? And I didn't even know this here. You're just telling me this. I had no knowledge of this at all. I had no knowledge. That's why I told you, when you're a lead, when you're the chief trainer, you got to make decisions that won't be popular all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got to look out for your fighters. Yeah, it might be nerve damage where he's not able to box no more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But, at the end of the day, it's a sad situation. All right, let's move on to the main event, because that's what we're here for. And listen to this, people, right? Mr. Bashir, we are lucky to have Mr. Bashir here with us. Because I tell you what, yeah, the information you're going to get now will be profound, maybe change your mind on what you think or who you think is going to win the fight between Joshua and Pulev. But Mr. Bashir has inside information. I'm not sure how much he's going to share with us, but he can share as best as he can in the insight between Anthony Joshua and Pulev. Mr. Bashir, when you saw the weigh-in and you saw them arguing, in my opinion, I thought it was to do with Pulev being racial in regards to, he said that they asked him a question, is there anything you like about Anthony Josh? He said, I like his tan. You know what I mean? And obviously, he's tan. He's tan. When someone has a skin tan from the sun, he said he likes his tan, right? And we know about Bulgaria when the English team went to Bulgaria and they were throwing bananas at them and they were making monkey chant noises and stuff like that. So in Bulgaria, I'm not saying they're all like that, but the football team, the English team, was getting abused by a majority of the Bulgarian fans, racially abused. And when he said that, it was disrespectful. Now, Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, says something to Bashir. I don't know if it's in effect to do with that. But you see the way the guy exploded. And I also saw the Vladimir Klitschko fight when he fought Pulev and he was fouling, hitting low blow. What's your opinion of the Pulev? What do you think about that pushing in the way? And just your overall perspective. And also being in the camp, Andy Joshua being in the camp, getting Vladimir, AJ helping Vladimir for Pulev. Go ahead.
I felt that AJ is a seasoned fighter now, and he should not get caught up in nonsense like he did with Pulev. I can understand when people push you to a certain time, to a certain point, and your emotions rise up and you want to rebel, but I tried to keep and even Vladimir Klitschko, I've even instructed him at weigh-ins where he'd get emotional and stuff. And I would just step up to him and say, hey, man, you don't have to do this. You don't need this. Because you still got to step in the ring and fight. So all of this here activity outside the ring don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. The fans ain't paying to see the sideshow. They're paying to see the fight. So just tell the guy, have a nice day, and I'll see you fight time. That's my point. Just have a nice day and I'll see you fight time. All of that him and his horn barking and stuff don't mean nothing. It means something. When that bell ring, that's when it's all gonna come out. I think AJ is gonna he's gonna attack Pulev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what strategies was Vladimir working on to beat Pulev? Because we know he knocked him down with a left hook. AJ said he's going to use some of the strategies what Vladimir did against Pulev to beat him.
Well, I'm here in Ukraine right now with Vlad Surigo, and we're looking to come to Great Britain next year. We want to get some action in Great Britain. We want to get into the boxing scene. Vlad Surigo wishes to box in Great Britain, so we just got to find somebody to dance with, and then we're coming.
Yo, we got a gym for you. I've got a gym for you to come to train at. So when that's sorted, Yo, we will sort it out. Cause Mr. Bashir, that'd be gold, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, we want to come there. We want to box. We want to box in Great Britain. Like Vlad is very excited when he speaks about British boxing because he believes that's the boxing capital of the world right now. I would say so. I think that the hottest action is coming out of Great Britain, and that's the place to be. That's the place.
Well, that's what's up, man. Coming over here. So, what round? No. Let's still get into the strategy. What was Vladimir working on to beat Pulev? Because Pulev,
I'm gonna tell you. I tell Vladimir Klitschko, and I tell Vlad Tsarenko, and any boxer that I train, everybody can punch. When you deal with heavyweights, everybody can punch. Everybody can slug, but not everybody can box. And that's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching boxing. Boxing. So that's what Vladimir Klitschko was working on for the Pulev fight. Because I would tell him, in between pockets, we'd have pockets. When I say pockets, there was different times on the road in the morning. It's different times in the gym where we'd have these 15-minute conversations, 12-minute conversations. And I would point out to Vladimir Klitschko that boxing is the key. If you box, you'll get your way with the big shots. So that was the key, to get behind the jab, work the jab until the window open to hit the right hand. Mm-hmm. You understand? He's a tall guy. Pop your jab, touch the belly, touch the chest, touch the head, touch the shoulders with your jab, and look for a place to land the right hand. Nothing fancy. Just good old-fashioned boxing 101. That's all. And you saw that he got those right hands clean through them. And Pulev was knocked out from the first knockdown.
Yeah, he was.
You could look at his leg. He was gone,
Yeah.
AJ has the boxing ability to do the same exact thing. He doesn't have to get into a fight. Good boxers don't have to get into a fight. Every now and then, a slugger can force a good boxer into a fight. But normally and most likely, a good boxer can stay outside, use his ring generalship, his tenacity, and box. And the left hook will get in there. The right hand will get in there. All of those shots will get in, but you got to set it up off of the boxing prowess. That's what happens.
Yeah, AJ got a good jab. I think Pulev gonna foul.
I think AJ stops Pulev inside the 7th round.
Yeah, I think so as well. Man. I think AJ got a good jab. He don't need to do nothing. Pulev's the challenger. Let him come get it. He's in good shape, Pulev, though. He come very light. But he old. You know what I mean? His volume ain't what he is. He don't mind getting in there, head button and all that jive. So AJ gonna have some fun with him. AJ said he gonna take his soul. What you think about that? That's what AJ said. He gonna take his soul. What you think?
I'm inclined to agree with him. AJ looks good. Yeah. He looks good. He looks physically and spiritually up to the task. I think that he can stop Pulev inside of 7 rounds or less. I think so.
Yeah. So going as an experienced coach, so you're saying AJ should have never got involved in the argument. But I have to tell you, Mr. Bashir, you've been around Vladimir and he carries himself exemplary. I enjoyed the backwards and forwards because it helped sell the review. Remember, people in the UK are trying to buy the fight, and that little fracas, it helped buy the fight. It helped put the volumes up. Now the numbers have gone up. A little bit of arguments and then they don't. No,
I don't. Like I said to you at the very beginning, I don't know what happened or what was said to piss AJ off. So when that happens, you have to step back and let them do what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Even though that the guy's trying to get in his head, sometimes you just gotta back up and let the fighter do what he's gonna do because he's the one that's going in there. So he knew that. Look, I want to confront this guy. this guy's talking smack. So let me confront him to let him know that he's not dealing with somebody. He's dealing with the heavyweight champion of the world. So sometimes the boxer has to assert himself and say, I'm the heavyweight champion. Wait a minute. You got to back up. You got to take another elevator. This is the champ's elevator. So every now and then the champion has to reassert himself and say, hey man, you got to back up. You can't come in and take it over. So yeah, that's what AJ probably was doing. Letting them know that you're not taking over nothing.
Yo, you gotta go. I absolutely. I think that's what AJ was doing, and nothing. AJ's undefeated.
Sometimes, like I said, sometimes you gotta back up and let the fighter do a thing. You know.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like when they get into these pissing contests. You know. But every now and then, you know, if you pushing, you got to be expected to get pushed back.
Yeah, 100%. So I expect AJ to handle him royally because AJ is undefeated at home. So let's talk about AJ going forward and Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Hopefully that fight gets on for the summertime. What's your take on that fight if that fight was to take place in the summertime?
I think that AJ beats Tyson Fury. Wow. I think he beats Tyson Fury. I thought that Vladimir Klitschko was going to beat him. You know. Tyson Fury is a good fighter. Tyson Fury is a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. I don't see him as a great fighter, but he's a good fighter. But I think a big guy like AJ can hang out with him. I think a big guy like AJ can take the fight to him and make advances during the fight enough to win the fight. I think that AJ can get in there and win 8 out of those 12 rounds, if not stop him.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I see it.
But you can't go out there pity-patting around, and slippy-slapping around and joking and running around the ring with him because that's his game. That's his game. Mm-hmm. To distract the guy from doing what he should be doing, that's fighting.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what?
So take the fight to him, you know. Take the fight to him. I like AJ against Tyson Fury.
Okay, let's suppose Fury has to fight Wilder. What's your take on Wilder's comments about his trainer, saying his trainer helped drug him, and the referee was drunk, and Fury had something in his gloves?
You know what? I just stay away from that. I stay away from that. I don't know nothing about it. You know, all I say from what I know about Mark Breland, he's a stand-up guy. I can't imagine him doing something like that, you know, but I don't know. Mark Breland has been there from the very beginning with Wilder, and they know each other, and I don't know what happened, so I just stay away from that conversation.
But this is thing you do know about the mentality of a fighter getting ready for a third fight in there. Where should his mentality? Where should his head be? You know what I mean? If he's throwing up for a guy who just beat him for the first time, you know all that. Like
I would have him pay attention to the last fight. Pay attention to the logistics of the last fight, from the locker room to the ring, and from the ring back to the locker room. I would follow my tracks and see where I messed up at and where I can improve. I wouldn't be out there. Speaking about the water, about somebody crossed me, you know, I wouldn't, and in fact, I wouldn't have my boxer. I would just tell them to cancel that. That's done. That's water under the bridge. There's nothing we can do to change that. We need to go forward. We need to concentrate on the pros and cons of what happened in that ring, and what can we do to make it better so it doesn't happen again.
I think that's very positive thinking. I think Wilder would do well. So let's ask the question: if Wilder asks you to train him, would you train him?
I don't know whether people say, I'll train him. You know, 100 trainers will jump on, but I don't know whether I could even come in and do something good for Wilder at this point. People would jump up and say, for the money, they say, oh yeah, I'll train him. You know, but I don't know whether I can do Wilder any good at this point. He's had his way. for 42, 43 fights, you know, and it's hard for somebody to come in and change the thinking and change the persona and change his attitude. So it would be an uphill climb, you know. I think the people around him are better suited to go forward with him. The people that's around him now are the people who are better suited to go forward and help him reestablish himself at the top of the division.
Yeah. Well, you go with you, like you said, it's a hard battle, changes his mentality. But I tell you what, he got a lot of around people around him, encourage him
If he came to me in earnest and said, "Listen, I'd like for you to come in here and help me," and I knew that I got the impression that he's going to listen to me and embrace my words, I would love to do it. Mm-hmm. But like I said, the people around him are better suited. You know, better suited. They know him better. They know his appetite better. They know his do's and don'ts better. I'd have to go in there from scratch. Yeah. You know, I'd have to go in there from scratch. And I don't want to go into a situation where I'm going to be looking like a fool. I don't like to I don't know nobody that likes to look like a fool. Mm-hmm. You know, I like to go into a training camp, especially being the chief trainer. I want to understand from the fighter that he's going to respect me. I'm going to respect him. And we're going to do what we need to do together to reestablish ourselves at the top of the division, become the heavyweight champion, and so on. But nobody wants to go into a situation looking like a fool, like they don't know what they're doing, like they don't understand what they're doing. You know, I want to go in there and do the right thing, you know, to enhance my own reputation. You know, I don't want to go out there and make a mistake just hemming the horn, you know? No.
Yeah, that's a very, hey, listen, what they lay down there? I know you're a no-nonsense coach, and that's what you're known for, so we all respect that. All right, so I think we covered everything. Is there any other fights that you wanted to talk about or anything you wanted to say?
I heard that Manny Pacquiao was asking to fight
Spence.
Spence.
Yeah. All right, you know what? Before you get into that, we'll talk about the Danny Garcia, Errol Spence. Go ahead. Before you get into that one, go ahead.
I just think that Danny has seen his better days. I think he's seen his better days. His better days are behind him now. You know, like he said that he didn't do very much in the Spence fight. You know, he didn't step up. He didn't roll the dice. He seemed timid. He didn't seem sure of himself. You know, he didn't seem sure of himself. He definitely didn't seem to want to take the risk that he needed to take to win the fight. So his better days may be behind him. You know, that's all I got to say.
All right, so Spence moves. I was disappointed. I put money down on Spence. I thought Spence was going to be the first person to stop Danny Garcia. I was equating Spence as one of them old time like Leonard, them guys that when they're beating you ain't good enough, they gonna go for the stoppage. In this generation, they beating you, and that's what they need to do. They just gonna go to the decision. He's very heavy-handed. Ashley Fairfame was saying, you know, he's got a very solid puncher. You can see on Danny Garcia's face that his face was getting worn out. But I would have liked him to go out there to make a statement to stop Danny Garcia. He didn't do it. Let's talk about the Pacquiao fight because that's the one you want to talk about. Go ahead.
I think that Pacquiao sees something in Spence's style that he feels that will allow him to win the fight. You know, at 41, 42 years old, mind you, 41, 42 years old, he's taking on a young bull in Spence, because the fight's going to happen. You know, he's taking on a young, powerful bull in Spence, and it's an uphill climb for a guy that's 41, 42 years old, coming up from the flyweight division, all the way up to the welterweight division, and now at 41, 42 years old, he's asking to fight the premier bull in the division. But if the fight is made on a gut sense, on a gut feeling, I'm going to go with Pacquiao because Pacquiao sees something in Spence that he thinks will allow him to win the fight. So I'm riding with Pacquiao.
Are you see? Listen, let's be more accurate, man. You're riding with Freddie Roach because he's the one who makes the decisions, right? So Freddie Roach has seen something, and I think it's the car crash, right? Like most people they said it's the car crash.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's something more than the car accident. I think it's something in the style that Pacquiao sees that says, I can beat this guy. It's something in the style that Pacquiao is seeing that I can put my hands on him and I can possibly steal a decision.
I don't think so. They're both southpaws first and foremost, and Spence is rangy. You know what I mean? He's rangy. He don't fight like a tall guy, but Pacquiao's fast and very powerful. And I feel that Pacquiao. I think they're probably looking at Pacquiao can have success. Like Spence is not that elusive. I think what they're looking at. I think he'll try and stand with Pacquiao. So that's where Pacquiao have an opportunity to let him off. You know what I mean? I think that's what they're looking at, right?
I know whatever the case is, at 41, 32 years old, it's exciting to me. It's very exciting to me, you know. It's like drama, you know. It's drama. Yeah. Some old guy gonna come from the Neanderthal days and come up and beat a young bull like Errol Spence. That's exciting to me. That's exciting that he would even be thinking like that.
And you know what? They tested out the Dallas Stadium, the Cowboy Stadium with the Danny Garcia fight, right? So now, obviously, when that fight's made, they're gonna go back to Dallas because that's where he's from. He's from Texas and the Dallas Stadium. They're gonna sell that out 90-something thousand fans, fight fans. You know what I'm saying? Stacked in the stadium. That's like that. You know, that makes you warm in it all inside. Like that's gonna be a heck of a fight, right?
Okay, let me tell you something. If Manny Pacquiao fights Errol Spence and he beats Errol Spence, that's gonna put him over Mayweather. It's gonna put him over Mayweather.
Man, no, he don't. No way. Listen, he ain't got Canelo. If he beats Canelo, if Pacquiao beats Canelo, then that will put him over him. Canelo's number one power pound right now. I may even beat him.
Listen, he's gonna fight if Pacquiao fights Errol Spence.
Yeah.
And he goes in that ring and he comes out there with a unanimous decision over Errol Spence.
Yeah.
It's going to put him over Mayweather because Mayweather wouldn't dare risk fighting Keith Thurman or Errol Spence this late in his career.
You're right, but it's the thing, he don't need to because he beat Pacquiao already.
Wait. He beat Pacquiao, but Pacquiao came back at 41, 42 years old, gambling, rolling the dice with these young bulls. And Floyd ain't never did that, and Floyd ain't gonna never. Floyd ain't take that. Floyd ain't. All right.
Okay, I'll put it like this.
Floyd ain't taking that kind of risk. He ain't doing that kind of thing.
Okay, I'll put it like this. Spence had an injury. Everyone knows Spence had the injury with his arm, rotator cuff for a minute. Errol Spence had a car crash, so that's why he's taking opportunities. We gotta look at a contest, right? The reason why he picking these fights is because one had a car crash and smashed up his face, and the other one smashed up his shoulder. So are they really young bulls or are they vulnerable bulls? And that's the one that's why they picking off. Go ahead.
Well, if they're vulnerable bulls, why don't Floyd take a shot at him? Floyd said, look, man, I ain't going into this. I don't have to do that, but I'm just saying.
Floyd's fighting Jake Paul.
Look for Pacquiao going out
Logan
there.
Paul.
Pacquiao going out there with a saw. He's going out there with a saw, and he's cutting the saw. He's cutting the plank in half and jumping on the other side before the plank can drop. So he's taking all the risks. That's a risky situation. Even with the Keith Thurman fight, and that was a risky situation for him.
Yeah, you're right. It was. I know, because they're undefeated.
Because of what Pacquiao has been through. Yeah. Barrera 3 times. Morales 3 times. Marquez 5 times. Come on, man. Come on. You know? De La Hoya, you know? I mean, look at the fights that Pacquiao has had, and he came out there and fought Keith Thurman and beat him at that age, and now he's saying that I want to fight Errol Spence. Come on, man, that's some daredevil stuff, you know. That's some daredevil stuff because most people in their right mind say, man, I ain't messing with that young guy. He's a young guy, but here go Pacquiao saying I want to fight him.
All right. Well, listen, well, you know what? I have to concede to that. Regardless of their injuries, they still young, they dangerous. Look at Mr. Bashir, we're happy about that. Why you hey, listen to this. Remember, Floyd's about money. Now listen to this now. He fighting Logo. No, I'm trying to say
I got nothing against Floyd to get that money.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that. Make money for it. I'm happy about that. But come on now. You got Pacquiao thinking about the fans too. Pacquiao said, look, I'm gonna give y'all some excitement. I'm gonna give y'all something to cheer about.
All right.
I'm fighting Errol Spence.
Okay. All right. So
everybody's like, what? Yeah, I'm gonna fight him.
So
I'm gonna beat him.
So Floyd's fighting Logan Paul, right? In the exhibition fight.
Oh God.
I you know what I'm saying? This kid, like, he only had one pro fight, an exhibition fight. So you know, Floyd could get his ass whipped in that. That guy's like a cruiserweight now. So Floyd, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, right? Most casual fans don't know who Errol Spence is. Casual fans on the YouTube, because this guy's from YouTube, this guy's got a huge couple million followers on YouTube. They're all gonna watch that. You imagine that? And we're a boxing fan, but that YouTuber, Logan Paul, going date and Mayweather, they're gonna generate more money than the actual legit fight between Pacquiao and Spence. Yo, what you think about that?
Yeah. Look, I ain't mad with him. I'm not mad with him.
Yeah.
If you can get money like that there, you know, at no risk, I ain't mad with you. Go get it.
Okay.
I wish I was a part of it, you know. You making legal money like that there. I'm not mad with him.
Okay, let's talk.
We know the dude ain't gonna beat no Floyd Mayweather.
You're right. Let's talk about the big fight, right? The big fight that Bob Arum has come out and he's basically thrown Crawford on the bus. He don't get no money from him, even though Crawford's okay. He makes money. He does his fishing. Bob Arum say he ain't making no money from him ever since he's been there. He done throw Lomachenko on the bus against Teofimo Lopez. What's your take on Crawford and Bob Arum? Possibly Crawford leaving, going to the PVC side where he can get the Manny Pacquiao, where he can get the Spence fight. What's your take on that saga?
At this stage, I think that Crawford would be in his right mind to leave Top Rank and go over where he can get this Spence fight, you know, because it's not going to happen with Bob. Bob said, look, I can't. I'm losing money on Crawford trying to promote him, you know. I'm not, you know, he said, I'm losing money and I don't want to do that no more, you know. And when you got a promoter saying that I'm not enthusiastic about it, then game over. It's time to move on. You know, it's time to move on. It's like Spence is not, Crawford is not sure of himself. You know, I would just shake hands with Bob and say, look, I'm going to PBC. I want to make the Spence fight. And it's obvious that it's not going to happen between Top Rank and PBC.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because Bob Arum is, you know, it looked like him and Frank Warren, they're being squeezed out. You know, because I don't think Frank Warren's got a problem with PBC, but Bob Arum, you know, trying to take Al Heyman to court and all them things there. Al Heyman ain't talking to him. He's a man of his word. You know, his brother was a fighter and he didn't like the way his brother was treated in boxing. So he ain't got no respect for them other promoters. And I think he's doing a fine job over there in building the fighters over there in the PVC. Now, the fight, who wins, Crawford or Spence? Go ahead.
At this stage, I'd have to say Crawford. I think Crawford wins that fight.
He ain't fought the better resume though. How you gonna win? He ain't fought the better competition.
I just think that the momentum is with Crawford.
Good knockouts and stuff, right? Knocking cats out.
Just his attitude is makes me believe that he can take him. You know, And he's looking forward to doing it, you know.
Yeah, he might get surprised, man.
That's a fight. That's a fight that's in the making. Everybody wants to see it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the biggest fight for real. It's a big fight in America for real.
it's like Leonard Duran, you know.
Yeah.
The fight should be made. The fight should be made. They shouldn't wait along with this fight.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question now, because this is gonna be the final one, right? Initially, right, and this is for people, in the boxing. When they talked about the pound for pound boxer, right? They always said if they were the same height and weight, if they fought, the guy who's the pound for pound fighter should be able to win, right? So let's say Sugar Ray Robinson, same height and reach as Evander Holyfield. Sugar Ray Robinson should be able to beat him. So let's give him a matchup. What did happen? Roy Jones Jr. was the fighter of the 90s, unanimously by the sports writers. Mike Tyson also fought in that era. Against, to me, some of the greatest fighters of that Hall of Fame was pure. I think Roy Jones fought maybe two, Bernard Hopkins and James Toney. He beat them. But I know Mike Tyson in the 90s fought a lot of Hall of Famers, right? Also Evander Holyfield, right? They actually fought the other day. So in the fight of the 90, Roy Jones fought Mike Tyson in a fight we saw the other day. If they were in their peak and pound for pound, right? Because the funny thing is, Mike Tyson is the same height as Roy Jones. If they fought in their peak, pound for pound, Roy Jones, they had him the fighter of the 90s. Really and truly, Mike Tyson should have been the fighter of the 90s, or Evander Holyfield. What's your take on that? What say you?
That doesn't excite me when they say pound for pound of the 90s and the 80s and this. I'm not attracted to that. I can't put a nail on something like that, because everybody's going to have a different scenario about what makes a person pound for pound. So I never got it. I don't know how to answer that. I just don't feel good about that.
Well, Roy Jones,
I think that Mike Tyson was always too powerful for Roy Jones. Too powerful. If Mike Tyson wanted to turn it up, we know that Roy wasn't going to take the heavyweight championship from Mike Tyson. And he would be very, very fearful inside that ring. He would have to be. I don't know how to answer that question. So.
Okay. Well.
I didn't even watch that fight.
Nah, it was a good fight, man. You would have liked it. It was a good fight, man. It was a good time.
Bullshit. I was so out of it. I never even watched the fight. I never watched it.
Good old fight, man. For real. I enjoyed it, man. Mike and Roy Jones. Roy, when Roy tasted that power, he was on the back foot. But
I might watch it.
You like it. I ain't gonna lie, you like it. You actually watch it and think it wasn't as bad in your mind of what you think, because you're thinking they're past it. But they actually trained for it. They actually got in shape, and you could. I
might watch it next year.
Oh man, it was good. All right, they're looking to a Legends League, so they're talking about Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, I like that. I think him and Evander Holyfield.
Who's that? Mike and Evander? Yo, Mike don't want that though. Mike don't want that, right?
Because of chemistry, I would pay to see that.
Yeah, but Mike don't want that, right? Mike don't want that. He might start.
I don't see how Mike.
Evander would do it. I think Evander would do him though. I think Evander would do him.
I don't see how Mike cannot fight Holyfield. If Mike says I plan on doing it again, I don't see how he can ignore the fact that Holyfield is right there in the wing saying, I want you.
Look at you smiling about it. So how come you smiling about that one, but you ain't smiling about the Roy Jones one? Look at it.
I can't see how Mike could not accept the challenge and say, you know what, we're going to fight.
All right. I got one for you. Lennox Lewis versus Vitaly. What's up? Yeah, that's my man. Ironclad in there, 26. Yeah,
well,
I
saw something where Lennox said he wanted to fight Riddick Bowe. So, again, the same scenario.
You like that?
How can you say you want to fight Riddick Bowe? And Vitaly is over here saying, look, I want some of that. So if Lennox comes back, Lennox going to have to face off against Vitaly. Let's go.
Yeah, he's going to do it. You know what it's called? Mike Tyson's doing it. It's called the Legends League. So they're doing the old legends in there, right? I think exhibition 10-rounder. I like it though. I like it because there ain't nothing happening in boxing. We still in this Corona era, and it makes people forget, about their daily thing. And for a brief second, people, the younger fans got to see Mike. They go to see Lennox. That's all the Legends League is about. What you think?
Yeah,
James Toney versus Bernard Hopkins. How about that? Legends League.
James Toney will spark Hopkins up, man.
You think so? Nah, man. Hopkins, the alien? Nah, man. What? The executioner? Nah.
Yeah, but James Toney can't lose all that. James Toney weigh about 300 pounds.
He gonna train for the fight, get himself in good shape. They gonna give. The thing is, because it's a Legend League, they can have a long time to train for the fight, though.
Well, James Toney is very, very heavy now.
Okay,
you gotta be close to 300 pounds.
I got one for you: Michael Nunn versus Bernard Hopkins, because Michael Nunn, he came out of prison right now. Michael Nunn versus Bernard Hopkins, or Michael Nunn versus James Toney, or Michael Nunn versus Roy Jones. What about that one?
He can fit in there.
Yeah.
He can fit in there with any of them. I don't know how anxious anybody's going to be to fight James Toney, because James Toney is a tough fight for any of them.
Yeah, he is.
If he can get in the shape. I mean, last time I saw James, he was very fat.
Yeah.
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 But Roy Jones and Michael Nunn would be very good.
Yeah. Iron Kong, my man Michael Thomas, Mike Tyson's animal. Hey, Mr. Bashir, look, man. Actually, Fairfane is fighting in about how many hours from now? He's fighting in about 4 hours. I'm gonna give you a link. If you don't know, it's on Channel 5 over in the UK. In American time, it's like 4 hours from now. So we actually Fairfane from the money teams fighting, and then later on we're gonna see Felix Verdejo versus the Japanese guy and my man Shakir Stevenson, Mr. Bashir. So there's other fights coming on in ESPN. So you got a fun-filled night, man, of boxing.
Yeah, well, send the links over. I'm here in Ukraine. I'm gonna get some sleep and I'll wake up and watch the fights. I put my alarm on and wake up and watch the fight.
Yeah, actually, Fairfane should be good. I mean, Glasarenko and the UK. I think that's a winning combination. You know why? There is a lot of UK heavyweights for you to fight over here. There is they seem like there's a lot cross. Like you're gonna get who is Glad's promoted by? Who's he promoted by?
Oh, he's fighting for independent promoters now. Last time we fought here, we fought for Oleksandr Usyk Promotions. Now we're fighting for another promoter here. We don't have a promoter of our own yet.
Okay.
Despite the fact that we're coming into the 15th professional fight.
But Usyk, well, you know what? That's another one. Usyk's supposed to fight the winner out of Pulev and AJ, but we know AJ gonna fight Fury. But how do you see a rematch between Alexander Usyk and Joe Joyce happening? What do you think gonna happen on that one?
I think it's an interesting fight. I think that Usyk has the ability to outpoint Joe Joyce again. But having said that, I looked at Usyk's 2 fights at heavyweight, and I wasn't impressed with him. I'm not impressed with the Chisora fight or the Chad Witherspoon fight. Yeah. I thought that he could have done certain things in those fights that he didn't do. For what reason, I don't know. But I felt that when he fought Derek Chisora, he only fought with maybe about 35 to 50% of his ability. I didn't see Oleksandr Usyk, the one that I came to know. I didn't see any of that in those fights with Chad Witherspoon, Derek Chisora. I just didn't. And so I said that he cannot go into a Joe Joyce fight based on what I saw in those 2 pro heavyweight fights. He can't go into Joe Joyce kind of fight like that.
Okay. So listen to this.
And look, my thinking is when AJ beats Kubrat Pulev, if he beats him, my thinking is that AJ is going to relinquish the WBO belt and go after Fury. That's what I would do. from a business standpoint, I would go after that, and I would let Joe Joyce and Usyk fight for that belt.
Yeah, but they gonna say AJ ducked Usyk, man. Can't have that. Nope.
Yeah, well, let them.
Nah, man. No, can't do that. We can't do that. What we do, you take you gonna
look,
sit on the side. You gonna sit on the sidelines, or I'm gonna pay you off. That's what you gonna do.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
If you get $10 million or $8 million or $5 million for versus Usyk, and you can come in and say, look, we'll give you 30, 35 to fight Tyson. I think that our conversation is over. I think that I need to give up this WBO belt and say, oh, let the people say what they want to say about me.
Listen, how about this?
Also let them know is when you say something, just ask about my bank account.
Well, how about this? The WBO looks on it like, well, we ain't making no money, but if AJ fights Fury, we gonna get paid. How about them apples? So if I'm the WBO, why would I force AJ to give up my belt? I say, yo, we give you extension. Because you know why? We gonna get paid in the sanctioning fee. So why would I want to vacate my belt to give to this guy who got peanuts when I can make money off the Fury and AJ fight as a sanctioning body?
And what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to pay Usyk. They're gonna have to pay him.
Yeah. That's right.
Everybody's gonna come out smiling.
Well, there you go.
They're gonna pay Usyk a few $1 million to step aside.
Road to the Undisputed is AJ's call, and that's what it is. We ain't giving up no belts. We ain't giving nothing. All right, we got to match up.
If he goes in there, AJ goes in there and loses the Fury, then there's Usyk and Fury.
Well, listen to this. We got a match up for your guy, Serenko, from a man BG London, right? We got Glad Serenko versus Alan Babbage. Braggers, you know about him? The guy from the Ukraine or wherever his name, he making noise. Is it Ukraine or is it Croatia or where are you from? He making noise over there. He wants the Filipovic, but we can't get that. Do you know about Alan Babbage? Alan Babbage, whatever his name.
You got a Babbage, you got in Great Britain?
Yeah, he over there. He signed with Dillian White, and he's knocking skulls over here. So he's making noise. So what we saying? Are you on that? That's what we on. We want to see that. That's what we want to see.
Send that out. Send the link over him so I can see it.
Oh, you
what guy?
Alan Babbage. Yeah, he only had like 2 fights, 2 knockouts. He ain't fought no top guy. He fought Tom Little the other day.
Send his box back over to me. I just want to take a look at it.
Yeah. I say you some stuff. And if you come into the UK and you go and talk to Mr. Eddie Hearn, yo, people going lit for that, bro. Mr. Bashir is coming over to fight the Babbage. That's what he called. That would be wicked, bro. Because that guy comes to fight. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
What is the other young man that just had a win that's under Dillian White?
Oh, you talking about the light skinned boy? What's his name again? Yeah. I know you're talking about. Oh man, what's his name? Yo, someone help me out in the chat. Dillian White, the light skinned boy, he got a knockout just recently.
We was in the Usyk camp together.
Oh yeah, you was in the Usyk camp together. He's good. He never had much amateur. He fought white collar a lot of the time. I know you're talking about the light skinned kid. What's his name now?
Yeah. We was in Usyk camp together. Nice guy.
Yeah. Well, Usyk, that's what Usyk not beat up on Alan. What's his name? On Thingy. What's his name again? Dave Allen knocked him scatty, and then Dave Allen had to retire from the sparring. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things there. Oh yeah. Fabio Wardy. Thanks. Fabio Wardy. Thanks, Bernard. Yeah, Fabio Wardy. Yeah. What's your take on him? You want to fight him?
He's a good-looking prospect.
You want to fight him?
He's a good-looking prospect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's too soon for him and Vlaserenko to fight. Okay. Him and Vlaserenko can fight when it means something.
Okay. How old is Glad?
Glad is 25 years old.
Oh, man. He young, boy. Oh, shit. And he's with you as well? Oh, no. That's some serious experience there. Wisdom.
Yeah. He been with me 4 years, you
know. That's trouble, man. You know that's trouble right there. You know that's trouble.
Yeah, Vlaserenko is 6'4" and he's 240 pounds.
Yeah.
So he's growing, he's growing. I would put him with a guy like Fabio for the next 5-6 fights.
Yeah.
When it means something, when they fight for titles, and fighting for money, then we jump in with them.
So are you gonna contact Eddie Hearn or what? Yeah, how you gonna let your people contact Eddie Hearn and get that rolling for the UK debut, for the UK coming over for the UK? How that gonna go about?
Oh yeah, we got some. Like I said, this is Vlad Cereko's 15 pro fight. So I'm looking to get up to 20 fights. When they get 20 fights, then we're into the UK.
Yeah, if you come to the UK, right, you're invited to my gym. You know what I'm saying, over here in London, and I'm sure that Mike Tyson, when he came over to fight, what's his name again? He trained in our gym with Mr. Akai. So you know what I mean, like all the famous Mickey Ward when he came over to go against the guy from Liverpool. So all the great fighters coming through our gym and they trained out of our gym. You know what I'm saying? Our gym's like the UK Gleasons out here. So you know what I'm saying. So hopefully when you come down, that'll be cool. You know what I'm saying?
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. All right. We got 3 hours now. It's actually 3 hours. My man Ashley Fairthing gonna throw down.
All the information for that fight I was just talking about with you. Then send over the links that you got. I'm gonna take a little nap. Then I'm gonna get up and then I'm gonna watch the fights.
All right, man. Hey, listen, Mr. Bashir. Yo, if you don't know the most legendary trainer out there, trainer of champions. Thanks very much, Bashir. And we'll talk to you very soon. You take care, my man.
I look forward to it.
All right,
have
man.
a good.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wait. It says here in Ukraine, it says Spokone Noche. Spokone Noche.
Spokone Noche. What's that mean?
Good night.
Ah. All right, Mr. Bashir. You take care, my man. Take care, man. Peace, bro. That's Mr. Bashir, boy. Yo, shout out to Mr. Bashir. Yo, he's always a good guy. If he come over to the UK, me and Mr. Bashir gonna link up. Oh man, yo, comments are flying. Wow, that was a good interview, man. That was always a good interview, Mr. Bashir, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like always. Yo, so yeah, Fabio Wardy, like I actually ran out of that, man. Yeah, what's up, Lady Sham? Yeah, Ashley, listen, Ashley Fairfane coming up. I got a live stream for that. Another hangout for that. And that. Thanks, Bernard, for Fabio Worley, because you guys, respect to all you guys over here who make the channel, man. We keep growing. If you don't know, make sure you sub to Lady Shan's channel. You done know season. Yeah, make sure you sub to her over there. My man BG London, my man, sub to my man Michael Thompson, sub to my man Iron Kong 26. You know what I mean? Like, yo, sub to all these guys out here who make the YouTube community what it is, man. If you guys are looking for the hardcore debates, I have on my channel or Blood's open debate on Blood Boxing's channel regularly. He does it every now and again. So if you ain't sub, I think it's Retro Boxing Sport. Go over there, sub to his channel, and jump on the debates and make a name for yourself, man. Anyone who feels they're anyone, you need to go test your knowledge. That's where you need to go. Or even on my channel, and you just talk your boxing knowledge. But you see, with Mr. Bashir, when you got people, Mr. Bashir, I don't know you guys are aware of. He was in Alexander Usyk, who's top pound undisputed cruiserweight champion. Mr. Bashir was with him all the way until he won his championship, and they kind of got rid of him to bring what's his name, Lomachenko's dad in. Also, he was with Manuel Stewart when Manuel Stewart was in Vladimir Klitschko. He has a wealth of experience, and he built loads of fighters himself. So when he comes over here, Mr. Bashir, it's like an honor, you know what I'm saying? We dealing with like royalty over here. So, try to keep the legendary trainers, try and keep the legendary interviews. And you guys, BG London, hey, shout out to you, bro. Like, you put that Alec Bavage right in his ear. So I'm gonna send Mr. Bashir some footage and that. Maybe that fight happens. If that fight happens, that's all on you. You're the one who planted the seed to make Mr. Bashir think about that. If you don't know, also his wisdom on obviously at the Yard fight, the AJ fight. So there's a lot of information to care. If you're catching this archive, yo, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Shout out to the whole panel. Everyone's going down. Look, man, I'm playing my interview with AJ, and this is what I'm saying. AJ keeps it 100, bro. AJ keeps 100. The last time I interviewed him, I mean, that's all he had to say. So I'm gonna leave with AJ and Eddie Hearn, saying their little things, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Yeah. Have you worked on that, and you're gonna make it much easier, comfortable for yourself?
I hope so. I haven't so much worked on it because I've just taken any sparring I can get my hands on, long range fighters, short range fighters, but I just know I'm capable of keeping it long, like Klitschko did against Povetkin, or if I need to fight on the inside, I've done it against someone like Tyler.
Yeah. All right. So do you reckon our fans are going to see a stoppage? Do you reckon we get a stoppage?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm confident of it. because when you look at certain fights and what made him get very, like, it's not so much that he can't take a punch, it's just that you've got to tire him out and take his energy.
Yeah. All right, message to the American fans over abroad. Message to all the fans watching it. Wish them a Merry Christmas, and also why should they watch the fight?
You should watch this fight because this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting your O on the line. This is about putting what you believe on the line. You think you can win? Step up in the big fights and let's see it. You can talk the talk, but when the lights come on and you walk out the O2 Arena into a little ring 20 foot by 20 foot to fight another man, this is the pureness of the sport. Why boxing is the greatest sport in the world, bar none. Let's build the hype, let's watch the excitement, and let's see the purity of British boxing explode and unfold February the 3rd, O2 Arena.
Thanks very much, Eddie.